Hi, my name is Nilda, and I want to talk to you a little bit about moving out of an abusive relationship. A little background on myself. I was in a relationship from 20 years old to 32, so that was 12 years. And it was an abusive relationship. It was emotionally, physically, mentally abusive. So the abuse came from many different angles, not just one or two. Um, Coming out of an abusive relationship, it requires time, doesn't always happen overnight. Um, the there are steps that will help you to get out of the relationship faster, but you have to be willing to do the work that it takes to move out of that relationship. So I'm just going to walk you through a few things that can really help you. This doesn't guarantee that from Monday to Tuesday you're going to be out of that relationship and on with a wonderful, great life. It doesn't necessarily work that way. But these are steps that can help you to move out of that place, that dark place that you find yourself in. So the first thing that I want to talk about is taking responsibility. And that when I say taking responsibility, I don't mean that you deserved what you got. It doesn't mean that you were abused because you deserved it, because you're a bad person. That's not what I mean. And I also don't mean that you gave that person permission to hit you or abuse you. When I talk about taking responsibility, I'm talking about taking the responsibility for having allowed it to be done to you. Most of us that go into abusive relationships as adults were abused as children. I'm not saying not everyone, but most of us. We were abused as children in one form or another. And so we're repeating the cycle. When we were children, we really didn't have control over what was being done to us because we were minors. We were in someone else's custody, and the person that had custody over us mistreated us. Unfortunately, if you look far back enough in that cycle, you'll realize that those people that mistreated you were also mistreated. So it's not necessarily that they did it because they wished to cause you pain. It just may be that they didn't know how else to discipline or how else to treat people. But as adults, we have a choice. We have a choice whether or not we want to continue to allow those things. And the day and the moment you realize that you have a choice, you don't have to allow it anymore. Just because you've been abused doesn't mean you have to keep being abused. Just because you get treated with anger and disrespect does not mean that it has to continue that way. So remember, the one thing that the Bible talks about, many religions talk about, is that we have been given a choice. God has given us a choice, and we can choose whatever we want. So the first thing is that you have to take responsibility for having chosen not to leave. It's not choosing to get hit. It's not choosing to be spoken to in a disrespectful manner. It's not having made the choice to walk away from it. After you take responsibility for not having made that choice yet, you will make that choice. That's why you're listening to this. So even though you haven't made that choice yet, you're going to make that choice. Once you have taken the responsibility of saying, I have a choice, and if I want to, I don't have to allow this anymore. That's the first step. That's the first step to not just taking responsibility, but most importantly, taking back your power. You see, we all have power. But we give it away. We give it away to our children. We give it away to our spouses. We give it away to our jobs. And sometimes you're in relationships, whether it's with your family members, whether it's at work, whether it's with friends, you have relationships that suck your power or that you give your power to. So you need to take back your power. And you can take back your power the moment you decide no more. But that's a choice you're going to have to make. I can't make that choice for you, nor can you make that choice for me. When I made that choice, when I made that pivotal decision, it took a minute. It took a minute, but I began to feel relief immediately because, not because I was out of the relationship, I was still there, but because I started to begin to understand that I did this. Not that I hit myself, not that I was calling myself names, but that I was the one that chose that man. And I was the one who allowed him to do the things he did. So the moment you decide that you're not going to allow it anymore, that you no longer want that choice, that you want another choice, then you start to see your own power. Well, I hope this helps some of you in your path to finding your freedom, emotional, physical. It's not easy, but so many of us have been through it, and we can help each other. So don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to share with people your experience. Because the more you share, the more you talk about it, the more you will find people who can help you. I hope you have a great and blessed day.